Mabuhay, Kamustika, welcome. How are you? This is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. This is the third part of a series about my wife and why I believe my Filipina wife won't lie to me, why she won't leave me, and why she won't cheat on me, why my Filipina wife will not be unfaithful to me. And not trying to shake up anything here, not trying to sound overconfident or cocky, just that as our marriage goes along and I become aware of the pitfalls of marriage with a Filipina, I try to make adjustments in my thinking and in my life so that I give myself the best chance of having a lasting marriage with my wife. And then I want to pass it on to this channel, so if you find some of these videos interesting and you can learn from them, please subscribe and please leave your comments. This one will be about the fear that a foreigner could have that his wife might cheat on him. Now, without question, it can be in the back of a foreigner's mind who brings a Filipina to his country, like I brought my wife to the United States. She got here in January of 2016. He can wonder if she's going to remain faithful to him. Will she succumb to someone's sweet talk or somebody's put-downs of him and think she has it better maybe with somebody else? Will her so-called new friends put wrong ideas in her head? Maybe somebody at work, maybe a neighbor. This does happen, I realize that. If you have a large age gap, is it possible she'll be influenced by all the attention she might get from guys her own age and cheat on you? I don't think there's anything wrong with being aware of all these things because it has happened. But what I want to try to do with this video is show you why I don't think my wife will cheat on me. My wife despises the fact that people cheat on each other. She hears about it at work and no doubt is aware of it in the Philippines, where there is no divorce, and where there is no divorce, people tend to cheat on each other. I believe that any time a man is unfaithful with his wife, it is probably unrepairable. Sure, it can be forgiven, but I would think it would result in a trust issue that may not be able to be resolved in their remaining years. All it takes is one screw up, and I think I would be toast. I don't intend to do anything that would give my wife the idea that she should cheat on me. I don't plan on ignoring her. As you can tell, I am very gracious with how I talk about her and how I want other people to perceive her. She cares what other people think of her. I need to do everything I can to meet her sexual needs, emotional needs, psychological needs, within reason, as much as a husband can. And of course, there are some things, some needs that only God can fully meet. But I have a responsibility for the rest. I need to ask her how things are going for her. Is she okay? Is there anything we need to talk about? Sex between a husband and wife is a wonderful and deeply personal thing, and I believe it is sacred. She has to know that I am dedicated to pleasing her and that she is the apple of my eye. If I'm using pornography, for example, I will be ruining my marriage. If I am comparing her to someone else, I will be sabotaging my sex life. If I'm too busy for her, I'll be shooting myself in the foot. If I speak roughly with her, that's going to affect the bedroom. If I don't compliment her on the things she does for me, that will affect the bedroom. And as they say, foreplay begins at breakfast, and it's true. Can't just turn on and turn off the desire. She can't for her husband. It needs to be consistently established and built. I believe there's some family pressure also for the Filipina to be faithful to her husband, which is another reason I believe she won't cheat on me. She has principal sponsors from our wedding that want to see her succeed in marriage, and I've mentioned before that my wife takes her reputation very seriously. Now, the Bible does say, let every man think he stands, let every man think that he stands, take heed lest he fall. And we all have to know that, 1 Corinthians 10:12. I better believe that in a moment of weakness or selfishness, I could cause major damage to my relationship with my wife. And we all know what it would take for each of us. The Bible commands us to flee fornication, and that's any sexual sin. We see in the life of David, who committed adultery and then mass murder. It wasn't just murdering Uriah the Hittite. If you go and read that, it was a mass murder to make it look like it was an accident. And then Solomon had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines. That's from 1 Kings 11:3. There are many things a man can do to cause his wife to cheat on him and vice versa. I read a book once called How to Affair-Proof Your Marriage. And I would suggest you learn how to affair-proof your marriage. Now, because of my scribbling, I can't read where my source is for the information I'm just going to give you. I jotted down a few things from a good article that I read about 5 reasons a woman might cheat on her husband. And I regret again not being able to cite the source. I just couldn't read my writing. I was writing it when we were in the Philippines, lying in bed, and I just couldn't read it. But here are 5 reasons why a woman might cheat on her husband. And I can certainly, as all of us can learn from this. Number 1, she feels underappreciated. Underappreciated. I have a video called How to Love a Filipina Wife. I have one called My Filipina Wife is the Strong one called The Gift That Is My Filipina Wife, and one called How to Praise Your Wife. These are just some of the ones I have made that make the point that a man should appreciate his wife. I even call her my amazing Isa and have an assortment of pet names for her. Another, was all part of the first point of why a woman might cheat on her husband, and that is she feels neglected. A woman wants appreciation for who she is and not just for what she does in the home. And I hope my videos will help you to find it easier to tell your wife how important and precious she is to you. Tell her regularly about the things she does that please you, about the needs that she meets, and be devoted to her. Don't be staring at other women, and certainly don't involve yourself with pornography. And that is something far more serious than we often think it is. And it can also have lasting physical effects. Another reason that fits under the first category is she feels ignored. So she feels underappreciated, she feels neglected, and now she feels ignored. I have told my wife she comes before family and friends. She must. She knows that I want to be with her more than I want to be with anyone else. One time she told me she even felt I was ignoring her and spending too much time on this YouTube channel. And that's part of the reason why I had to end it the first time. I had gone for, 5 months and decided, you know what, I'm just going to stop the channel. And then, of course, it bothered me so much, I decided I need to find a way to keep this channel going because, I think I can be helpful. So even though I didn't think I was spending that much time on it, she felt like I was. And what I decided to do was, instead of throwing the baby out with the bathwater, I would invest more time in the channel while she was at work. We have slightly different schedules, so that does allow me time to do that, especially since she works every other weekend, 12 hours each day. Here's where I need to be getting YouTube work done. Maybe the video series How to Earn the Respect of Your Filipina Wife would come in handy here. A second reason, according to this source, that a woman would leave her husband, a woman would cheat on her husband, would be that she craves non-sexual intimacy and is not getting that. She needs touch, kind words, a back rub. You should stroke her cheeks, stroke her hair, give her a massage, tell her how much you value her. She needs to know your touch is because you care about her, not just because you want her body. Other ideas would be just to value cuddling up with her, snuggling with her. That's the last thing I do before leaving for work. I hold on to her soft, warm, smooth, light brown skin. I need an extra 5 minutes in the morning before I leave. I tell her my battery is low, and if I hold on to her, then that recharges my battery. That's what I say anyway. Giving her small gifts and having meaningful conversation might fit in well here too. Number 3, reason why a woman could cheat on her husband is she is bored or she is lonely. Now, your wife will need friends, of course, which will be especially important if she immigrates to your country and leaves everyone behind. Helping her find a job is huge too. I found I took my wife to church. I was asking my pastor if he knew anybody that might be a good influence on her. So that's something you can start doing or working on or thinking about before she even arrives in your country, is to find her friends. Go on dates. Don't try to limit her social media time with her family and friends. I don't know if I've coughed yet, but I sure am trying not to. There we go. Number 4, she never feels truly loved or appreciated. She never feels truly loved or appreciated. Another reason why a wife might cheat on her husband. And I want my videos to help you with this. I really do. I want my wife to feel able to go to the Philippines when she needs to. And yes, even if I have to stay behind and stay here. So far I've been with her the 3 times that we've gone. And I believe that if I love my wife, I will love her family and allow her to help her family financially. And I want to help her family myself. And this helps her feel, truly loved and appreciated. And the last one here is that she could have an intimacy disorder due to early childhood trauma like sexual abuse. Those are 5 things I got in this article about why a wife might leave her husband. And so you can certainly go through that list. I'll try to get as much of this in the description as I can. You get like 5,000 characters, and I usually have too much. Going on a year now with this cough. I'm not sure what the record is. But as you can see, maintaining your marriage is a full-time job. It's worth all the necessary effort. I hope this 3-part video series has been helpful. I hope you didn't take it the wrong way, not trying to brag or be overconfident, but I don't think my wife will do these things to me, and just trying to express why. Infidelity is not something I worry about with my love beyond the sea.